Hello and welcome to Talking Leeds Plus, a match reaction live to celebrate Gerry's safe return from his American Grand Tour. We're reflecting on Leeds United against Millwall and QPR 2, Leeds United 2 and the running as well. I'll just say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Gerry. How are you, sir?
It's good evening. I'm back. Minus one suitcase, which arrived this morning. It decided to have an extra night in Frankfurt. We had a flight cancelled on the way back. Ended up coming via Frankfurt. What a nice airport. And which meant I should have been on an airplane to Bulgaria this morning to see Arron play, but I can't do that. It was too much of a turnaround, and I'm tired. So yes, back, and it wasn't so good since I went away, was it? I mean, we did speak after the Portsmouth game,
We did.
and yeah, it's been hit and miss. And Saturday was against QPR was, not great. The QPR course, we got a draw, but could have been better. Is it happening again? That's what I just look at. Going into the last year's international break, we went on top and we were level, but we were delighted because we caught up. Now it's gone the other way. We've been caught up, if you like. We're still top. It's still in our own hands, but we seem to have hit a little bump in the road. And maybe the week break will do us good. Maybe Daniel's discovered that Brendan needs to rest. Maybe he needs to go back to America in a suitcase. And maybe it's time to change one or two things, not major, but QPR, that was a lot of worry in there. We beat Millwall. That seemed to be back to business. Yeah. So the trouble is, we've got a whole week and a bit to mull over this, and or 2 weeks, and that's hard. You need a game straight away to get over. It felt like a defeat at QPR. You need a game, but yeah. So we've got all to mull over. Look at the statistics. Look at the games Sheffield United and Burnley have. Look at how they keep winning, and worry about the scenario that Frank Lampard is waiting for us in the playoffs. And that I haven't got the energy to do the playoffs again this year. I just haven't. Don't want to do it. So here we are. Come on, Leeds.
Yeah, it's Coventry in the final, isn't it? It's written in the stars, Gerry. But let's look at the Millwall game. I know we touched base, didn't we, while you were in America? A nice 2-0 performance against Millwall. Back to winning ways after the Portsmouth defeat, as you said. But I think with the Millwall game, it was just good to get back onto winning ways. But then you followed it up with the disappointment. And I don't want to dwell on it too much, but we should have gone to QPR and we should have beat them. We should have done, but we didn't. We've drawn and it's done. And yeah, it felt like a defeat on Saturday. I don't know, because obviously you're watching it, Gerry. Yeah. Did you feel the same way? A bit of a defeat?
Yeah, well, the Millwall game, we reverted to type. We controlled the game. We won 2-0, early goal and late goal, which we do. Which the tension was there because even though Millwall did bugger all, always dangerous on a set piece, as we know. Although ironically, Jake Cooper scored an OG, which was good because he's a big lummox, and Joe Rothwell controlled the game, and we were always in control. And a great goal by Tanaka, great finish, and you could just feel the tension lift. I was watching on my phone in an Irish bar in Mexico, and there was a lad came over to me. He says, "Is that Real Madrid?" I said, "No, even better than that." And I jumped up and punched the air, and I think those Chinese women looked at me odd. But anyway, that's what you do when you're supporting Leeds. And that was. And then Burnley and Sheffield United dropping points, and we thought, yes, this is the turning point again. But going into that game on Saturday, he kept Rothwell in, and although he says Rothwell is a stiff knee and everything else, most of us agreed with that. Keep him in because he was driving force, but he wasn't effective at all at the weekend, and that's very rare for him. And the usual thing, we started okay, but they had a couple of chances and took him. I mean, Brendan Aronson, he's contributed, but not much since Christmas, and that assist he gave, it's just criminal. And I couldn't believe that actually we made a sub at halftime, a tactical sub. And I'm hoping Brendan is a squad player now for the rest of the season. I think Willie came in and he showed that he was up for it, and he needs the game time. But to get a goal back was vital, and then to get the second one early in the second half, you thought, here we go. But we were ineffectual after that, and we didn't really bother them as much as we should. And I mean, again, they're a poor team, but Loftus Road is our nemesis. And Steve Cook, who's 55 now, he keeps doing stuff against us. And they were missing players, and they had a gorilla up front. What was it, Frey? He's pub league, but he was causing us problems. The goal just was poor, and the header. I think Joe Rodon's been excellent this year, but you lost your man, and he had a header, free header from outside the 6-yard box. But if you're 2-0 down, you get a draw. That's a decent point. But
in the grand scheme of things, when you look at what the other results happened, you just think, it's just 2 points dropped. It's just I'll tell you what, though, I think you're right. I think Nomtor for me needs to start in that 10 position now, because he looks a lot more effective, he looked more attacking, and we just looked a lot better. Even though we didn't get the result. I think Aronson is like what Jimbo says. Then he's sat on the bench for a while for me. You just, it's just not working. You've got to change things up, Daniel, and that's what we need to see now moving forward. Because the next 8 games are absolutely massive for us. And yet the Loftus Road nemesis, same old. At least it wasn't a 4-0 hammering, which it could have easily been.
Could easily have gone.
Again, the history is repeating itself, Gerry. But I think we just got to get it out of the system.
Well, you worry because we win our 4 home games, which we should. But you never know coming on the run. 12 points, well, we're in 82. That's 94. Any other year, that's good enough. But it might not be compared to last year, because the division's unbalanced. The top 3 are beating everybody more or less, and the others are beating. So the points distribution's different, and it feels like it could be a 97, 98. But win 4 and get 4 points away from home, you think that should be good enough, and we should be capable of doing that. Luton is a very tight ground. Portsmouth and QPR, we don't do them very well. Pressure, 12:30 kickoff. Hope we're not going to Plymouth looking for something, and they need to stay up, because that's a cup tie then, and they've been okay in those this year. All these games, which we were talking, as probably at the time I said we've gone too early. We were talking about promotion on Good Friday, and you think, oh no, what have we done? We should never have said that. I think I was hoping that the Sheffield Derby would throw up something. I didn't watch it. I was too busy moping about watching.
I watched it, and Sheffield Wednesday were really unfortunate for me. I think
I heard that.
At least the draw, but do you know what really annoys me is when you look at people like Burnley and Sheffield United, and bearing in mind Frank Lampard, who is a great guy, absolute legend, and I hope to God he does us a few favours over the next 2 games, because Burnley and Sheffield United, super fat Frank, do us a favour, man. Just do it. Get 6 points and get yourself in the playoffs. Do us a couple of favours. But going back to Sheffield United and Burnley, they grind out results and they get them. And they do win ugly, Sheffield United. They did against Sheffield Wednesday. 1-0. I think, I don't know how many 1-0 wins they've had, but they've just scraped them. And
they've got goal scorers they can swap around. Not great goal scorers, but
they're just like a machine. That's probably the best way to describe Sheffield United. It's 0-0. It's boring, and they just break and get the goal and just sit back and defend for their lives. That's all it was. And Sheffield Wednesday, I think, were hard done by.
Yeah. Who did Burnley play? It's that long ago. I forget now.
They played Swansea.
They were 1-0 up within 4 minutes, and then they're 2-0 up. And you think Swansea aren't coming back. Swansea are a poor team. We got them next, of course. And you think when we played Wigan that time when we didn't get promoted, all these mirror image coming back to us. But maybe you think of Bielsa's season, and we lost to Cardiff and drew at Luton and then we just won. So it's in our hands still. A few tactical or positions or players coming in that we're going to be interesting. Ampadu fit, I think he has to come back in. Does he come back in with Brendan probably now, if Fark at last thinking, he even said his numbers weren't great going into QPR game. Well, why do you bloody play him then? But you've got choices now. You keep Willian at number 10. Do you stick with the two midfielders? I mean, Strike hasn't been brilliant this last few games, so Ampadu come back in there, or do you put him in midfield and push Rothwell into the number 10? I think Dan James, I would have subbed Dan James on Saturday, or maybe give him a rest, because he's been brilliant this season. I'm not knocking this for him. He's just not been in games. And Ramzani, he's only getting bits and pieces, man. I mean, we saw at the beginning of the season, he's a good player. We need to rotate a bit. I'm not saying majorly, but those are the positions. Him and Solomon have played constantly now, and we've got two other guys on the bench. I think Willie's got to stay, and I think he will. And it's where Ampadu fits in if he's fit. And those are, I think the rest just picks itself, really. I mean, Bogle scored. Firpo nearly scored, although it's gone down as an OG. Those stay in. Rodon, even though mistake stays in. So I think the midfield and strike is probably positions that need sorting. Pirro, he did some nice footwork for which goal was it? He did footwork. I remember. It's all fading into it now. This is great analysis, isn't it? I think he did footwork. he does that sometimes, but he doesn't impose himself enough in the game. I suppose Joseph, he looked a bit fed up at the end. He was thinking, should I have got on? But then again, when he's come on, he's not done much. So we're short in that department. We got to. I think the thing is, we just got to go out and beat Swansea and just look at the other results at the end. We can't be dependent on other teams. If we win every game, and these big ifs, we go up. Burnley and Sheffield United. But I remember last year we were talking about the Southampton game's massive. There was a dead rubber. Maybe that game will be a dead rubber by then. They could be both promoted, or we could be out of it anyway. So we can't look that far ahead. But the other teams have got tough games, but every game changes when teams are fighting for their lives. Bristol City are in the playoff battle. Luton are fighting for their lives. So are Plymouth. Stoke aren't out of it yet. You know, there's battles for everybody, and the championship is the championship. So we just need the old adage, the next game, and just go out and beat Swansea, beat them well. Is Burnley Coventry next up? Is it? Is that
I think it is. It is. I think so. Yeah. Is it Sheffield United they've got?
I know they'll play one of them quite soon.
They played them on the Friday. So Sheffield United play Coventry on the 29th of March, and then Coventry. So Burnley got Bristol City at home.
They've got to draw Sheffield. They've got to draw Sheffield United. Burnley, supposed to they've not only not conceding now, but they're scoring, and they look like just a bulldozer. But they can't win every game. He says, hopefully, we're just in a fight, and it's nervous, and we've got a whole week to mull over it, and that's the part. Everything comes to mind. People throw up statistics. People have ideas. We're in this position and we should go up. And I can't be doing with getting tickets for Wembley again last year. That was stressful enough. Going there, the games, everything. Leeds are falling apart. I couldn't do it. I just haven't got the energy. I just want to go up. I want to be sitting there on the 3rd of May thinking, let's watch the playoffs now and laugh. But
it's going to come back and bite us, isn't it?
It is, because good chance. We're in. It's 2 out of 3, and that's right. Did you see Chris Wilder after the game and singing in the pub and everything? Then there's a bald guy at the top. You can just say that's my mate. He's a good mate of him, and I was sending him abuse, but you got to be careful when you do stuff like that. I mean, he's a passionate guy, and I've said before, I don't mind Chris Wilder. He's a character, but you got to be careful doing stuff like that, because you can end up. It's okay at the end of the season, but you can end up looking a right Wally. And but I don't care which one of them comes up, really, as long as it's us with us, and we got to do that. So we got the international week to look forward to. Jordan Henderson, discuss.
Jordan Henderson, is I thought he'd retired. Where does he play now? Where is
he's good for the dressing room. As Roy Keane says, what does he do? Card tricks or what? You ever see the Mike Bassett movie where his first squad and she calls up 50-year-old Benson and Hedges?
Yeah.
Says, where does it say that? And it's on a cigarette packet. So it feels a bit like that. Dan Burns had the best week of his life. And fair play
I need to say as well, the Wembley final, Gerry. I watched that. Newcastle, great game. Fair play to Newcastle. They're probably still partying now, but Gates, down Jesmond or wherever they are. Fair play to them. And then what came to my mind? If this was Leeds, it'd be exactly the same. The volume, the atmosphere. It wouldn't be black and white. It would be blue, yellow, white. It'd be brilliant. That could be us, mate.
Wouldn't it be? It's great to see. I mean, Newcastle have got the whole Saudi thing going on and everything else, but it's good to see someone win a trophy that's not Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, because it's we won the trophy, but there was the weight and everything, and clubs like ourselves, as you say, or even Spurs around, or middle of the road clubs. It's a big deal, and you enjoy it and it takes you. And I think that's why proper fans were happy for proper fans. And that was a good thing about it. We've got Bulgaria tomorrow night. And I'd love to be
Nations League playoff. Is it a playoff?
Yeah, I think it's a relegation playoff. So I think we need to win that. We play them in Dublin Sunday. I think if we win that, we stay in that division, better seeding. And I don't know what it means. Maybe does it mean we get a playoff for the World Cup? I don't know. But that's a big one next year. America, Mexico, Canada. I bet you my suitcase better not go missing next year. But if we could get there, and the Scots or the Welsh and the Danes and all that. But it's over a massive area. But it's if you've ever been on an away tournament, it is the best.
That's
the best
the one,
crack.
Isn't it?
It's good crack, even on an away game, and that's why I'm sad I'm not in Bulgaria tonight. It's the crack and meeting up with everybody and a few drinks and all the business. So I'll get to another one later in the season. It was funny. I was listening to the Irish podcast tonight, and they were looking at the Bulgarian team and said, "Well, obviously their best player is Gruev, and that's he's the best one for them." So let's hope he is an off night tomorrow night, but we'll see. But that's international football. It's a chance to cut the grass and do stuff like that, really. And you don't get too carried away with it, really. It's a bit.
Speaking of international fixtures, Gerry, Leeds United to go play Manchester United in Sweden. It's Stockholm.
July 19th.
Yeah. You're gonna pack your suitcase for that one, Gerry?
Pre-season friendlies are. I've seen these games before, and it's great for the Scandinavians and Sweden because they're massive fans, and that's probably, I suppose, the other crowd. They've got Swedish fans too, so it's good for that. But I don't think it's one for me. Would you fancy it yourself?
No.
And if it was, you want to go to a proper European tie. Yeah. Let's play someone in Sweden in the Europa League in a couple of years, or we can do that. So, but it's good for them. But it'll be pre-season and it'll be half-hearted. We've seen these games before. So, but there's a lot of people going. I've seen today people talk about flights from 150 to 300 quid. Stockholm's not a bad. I went to a wedding there once. Ended up at the ABBA Museum, and to cross the road was the middle of a gay pride march, and we couldn't cross the road, so we had to sort of join the march and walk and step to get across the road. So it was interesting. Yeah, it was at a gay pride march. So and it's all little islands and boats and ferries over there, and it's a nice city, expensive like anywhere else. So the Leeds fans will go en masse, and you want out. She's barking at her shadow.
She also got Stockholm, Gerry. That's just saying, come on.
I mean, the Leeds things, Stockholm syndrome. She's worried about Leeds at the moment, and the stress is coming out. She'd been texting me while I was away, saying, "We are going up, aren't we? This doesn't happen every year, does it?" And I'm trying to keep her calm, but she's just seen our shadow in the window. That's what it is. We know what we're like when we see our own reflections. We're all the same, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So there you go. Internationals, Leeds, Ireland, and dogs. That's my life, really. keeps me going.
And anxiety for the next week or so until Leeds play Swansea.
Catch up on a good box set. Are you watching? I'm watching Landman. Did I mention that? That's quite good.
Hang on, what's I got to watch? Oh, what is it called now? Somebody's told me it's supposed to be really good on Netflix. Oh God, I forgot the name. Adolescent something? Is that what?
Oh yes, that's supposed to be quite great. Stephen Graham.
That's it. Yes, but that's on our box list, list kind of thing for us to watch over the next few days.
I noticed Martin Nolan's asked me why wasn't I on the View with Gerry and the Irish boys. I was supposed to be on, but I was on a plane, and the Wi-Fi wasn't
He's been
good.
on American tour, Martin.
Yeah, I'd love to have done that. Yeah, he did invite me on, and I missed out. But hopefully, he does a good show, Ger, and there's a lot of Irish fellas around Leeds, really, isn't there? Yeah, but it was hard not being at Ellen Road. That was the first game I missed this season, the Millwall game, and it's just you're walking around thinking, well, everybody's coming in now, they're having their pie, they'll be doing this, blah blah, and then I it was weird watching at 2:00 in the afternoon, but on a Wednesday. But I got to watch them, and I'm sort of glad that's go because the tension of missing games was getting to me. Now that's cleared, so clear running now. I booked me parking for Luton today. I'm waiting to find it. Yeah, Middlesbrough, I'll sort that out because parking's not very good at Middlesbrough. You have to park miles away. Used to be able to park on the grass nearby, but I think they put cones out in that. Plymouth, we're going down for the weekend. As I said, it's not Massachusetts. We're going to Plymouth. And I said to my other half, let's go to Oxford for Good Friday for Easter. She said, that'll be lovely. And I must tell her about the game when we get there. She said, I've always wanted to go to Oxford. I said, but it's great. Let's do it Easter. It'll be lovely. Yeah. So, I'll tell her about the game when it comes to it. Yeah. Where are you going? I'm off the game. There's a spa treatment for you. I'm aware.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we've got a week or so to wait, but hopefully, for God's sake, all we need to do, as you say, 4 home wins, maybe a win or 2 away. We've put a number on, didn't Gerry? Out of the 8 to go, how many do we need to get up? How many wins?
I think win the 4 home matches, and I think 5 out of 12 in the away. Okay. Yeah, so that would be 12, 17 points. That should get us up. Yeah. 5 out of 12 away that's like 2 defeats, isn't it? Is it something like that? No, a win and 2 draws and a defeat. And I think, we know we're capable of that. But this is the time of the year where we know we've seen it. We know what happens. And we were talking about at the beginning of the season. There wasn't enough jeopardy and was a bit dull and just for a run of the mill 2-0s now. We'll take those. Yeah. And Fark, he knows he's got to change things. He knows he's got to. I think Willie, as I say, will come in. Ampadu will come back, and just rotate it a bit. Give the wingers, give them 70 minutes, and then bring on the other 2. Give them, or even an hour. That's what we got to do.
I think the pressure's well and truly on Fark now because he knows this is the season he's got to do it. Because if he doesn't, he's in big trouble with the ball.
I think so. Yeah. I know people are slagging him off now. I mean, a few weeks ago we were loving it, and now I think he's, as he said, don't go too mad when we win, which we did, and don't be too down when we lose. You have to keep it steady, and it's just that after a great run, we've hit these couple of draws and a defeat. All of a sudden, our record's not great, but it's good enough.
Well, if they're out of the way, they're done. They're out of the win the next day, and you are guaranteed promotion. Simple as that, isn't it?
Well, it could change again next week. If we beat Swansea, another 2 drop points, all of a sudden it's back on again, and we just need Burnley to hit a rough patch. That's all. That's all we need.
They're the only ones who worry me, if I'm being honest, Gerry. It's Burnley, because Burnley, they've got a great defensive record. They've only lost 2 all season. They look too good, and they just. I know the drill with West Brom, but do you know what?
I got the dog here. Say hello. You got to come and say hello. There she is. There you go. What you got to say? She's like a horse. This one. Hey, you're gonna say hello? Yeah, she's very hairy at the moment.
She's got a poodle parlor.
Yeah, she's getting her haircut tomorrow. I think she's 50% hair, aren't you? Yeah. Are you big on Leeds? Yes, she's a big Leeds fan. She does predictions, and she usually gets them right. Welcome to my world. Go and feed her half a cow now. Go on.
The Clive there is a regular viewer of us. Says the Dulux doggy. Lol.
Yeah, she's half St Bernard, half standard poodle, I wouldn't like to depend on her to rescue me or to put a barrel of anything around her. So now we know doggies are very important in our lives, and you just gotta be precious, as you know. So
absolutely, completely agree. Right, cheers, Gerry. Thanks for that. We've had a bit of dog talk. We've had a bit of America talk. We've had a bit of we've covered all bases. Let's hope that Leeds can kick on, Gerry.
Keep the faith, Keep the faith, lads. And as Martin says, it is a white dog. I would never get a red dog. Yeah. I'm trying to buy a new car at the moment. They offered me a red one today, and I said, no, thanks. No, thanks. And she's pretty good in goals. Yeah, she knows positioning. Yes.
There you go.
Oh, you're a good lot, you lot.
Cheers,
All right.
Cheers, Gerry. We'll see you on the next one.